This is Jonathan Agatha here for Pro Boxing Fans up here in Nottingham. The first press conference of this press tour for Leigh versus Michael Conlan, March 12th on DAZN. I'm joined by Leigh trainer Ben Davison. Ben, how are you?
All good, thank you.
Yeah, very well, thanks. Press conference more lively than you expected?
No, I half expected that approach. Obviously, Mick's used to be in the A side. And obviously here today in Nottingham he's not, and he wanted to try and show that he's not bothered. And tomorrow, and he got a little bit of stick, nothing too much, but I'm sure tomorrow we're going to get plenty of stick, so the roles will be reversed.
Do you enjoy the back and forth between the teams?
I'm not really bothered about it. Like, you know, it's not really an issue.
Going back to obviously the fight camp when Leigh beat Khan-Brook, now you've had a lot of time to reflect on it. What did you make of the performance and win?
It was a brilliant performance. It was. Leigh's very good at following a plan, and I said before going into the fight that was as well prepared as any fighter I've ever prepared for a fight before, and I feel like that showed in the fight.
When Leigh initially came to you, did you have a vision on how you wanted to perhaps alter his style and get him to where he is at this point? Yeah,
of course. I think this fight is more relevant to exactly what I initially wanted Leigh to box like, and that will show on the fight. Obviously, did I know that the Reece Mould fight was going to go straight into a world title fight? No, of course not. But you know, it's funny how things play out, and here we are.
What did that show you of Leigh stepping up from, like you say, British level to go straight into world title fight? And let's be honest, most people had Khan-Brook a big favourite going in, and he dethroned him in some style.
Oh, for sure. You know, I went into that fight camp and I said to everybody when I walked in, I said, we're going to win this fight. And they was looking at me as if to say, it was more of an approach when we arrived, was like, thanks for coming. And I was saying to people, we're going to win this fight. And they was looking like, yeah, of course you are. And it shocked everybody. But, you know, as I said, every blood, sweat and tear both these fighters have given to get to this point. And especially for Leigh going into that Canelo fight, because that was his world title fight. But then again now, especially because this is it's a dream to fight for a world title, but this is his dream to fight for a world title in Nottingham, and he's got that now. So yeah, it's all about Mick Conlan and March 12th.
Stylistically, how does Khan-Brook compare to Michael Conlan?
Oh, it's a very different fight, very different fight, very different approach. But Mick's a versatile fighter, so we have to be prepared for a few things that Mick may bring, and he can adjust through the fight. So it's important that we're prepared for all the different things that Mick may bring, and Leigh knows that. Leigh's aware of that, so it's important that Leigh gets it right.
As a trainer, what is sort of the balance between preparing Leigh for the fight and studying what Mick does well in his attributes?
Well, they go hand in hand, because we look at Mick's strengths and weaknesses and develop a plan, and we look at what adjustments we feel we may make, and develop around that. And okay, if he starts to do this, this is what we need to do. If he starts to do that, this is what we need to do. When we do this, we expect him to do that, and that's what creating a plan is all about. But obviously, a game plan is a base layer. What happens when I'm doing certain things within that game plan? You have to check what is the opponent's reaction, what are they doing in response to what I'm doing, and that's where the fighter has to recognise that through the fight.
Just wanted you to touch on what you said in the press conference about Leigh's power and how it still surprises you. When did you first sort of realise that he's got this
When he first
power?
come and started hitting the pads, I thought, oh, he can punch, and then obviously going through a little bit more balance, technique, and adjusting his style, of course, and the confidence within him and punching through the target and things like that. It was like, oh my God, I genuinely, this hand on my heart, I genuinely couldn't keep holding the pads. I thought, he's broke my arm. That is what I thought at one point. I thought, he's broke my arm. I can't keep holding the pads. I had to, because he was preparing for a fight, but I thought, I need a rest after this. I genuinely thought he'd fractured my arm. It is freakish, but again, power is just one element of Leigh. What he does in the fight, I believe, will allow his power to then play out in the fight. However, it's not all about, oh, we can punch, jump in then, let's hope you land one, of course.
And lastly on the fight, do you think it's going to be a chess match? Or as you say, both in good boxers, both have power. How do you think it sort of plays out?
Like I say, both fighters are versatile. I think that we have to see how Mick approaches the fight. I think that there'll be. I think once Mick feels Leigh and the strength of him and his power, I think Mick will resort a lot to turning southpaw to try and create a bit of distance between the two of them. But obviously, we're very well prepared for that.
Just touching on the stable quickly, Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall's coming up quite soon. How's everything going in preparation?
Yeah, fantastic. In a very thick of camp right now, so very intense at the moment. When I get back, Josh is sparring, so yeah, we'll be ready for Feb 26th.
I spoke to Michael McKinson. He said he's been down. How's that sparring between Josh and?
Yeah, brilliant. Good sparring. I think it's very similar style or similar attributes and tendencies to Jack. So it's fantastic sparring, been great help, and obviously he's preparing for a big fight himself as well.
And just your stable quickly. Who's the fighter or fighters to look out for? You've got huge stable at the moment. Mark Dickinson, the McCormacks, Shabazz Massoudi.
Yeah, Will Corley as well, Leigh McGregor. So there's plenty of potential in there, and they keep working hard. I'm sure that they'll all blossom.
Two more. Amir Khan, Kell Brook, February 19th. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I read a thing the other day. I heard something the other day. Something about the 10-pound rehydration clause. But someone told me that was getting in the ring 10 pound heavier, not actually the morning of. If that's the case, then that's ridiculous and unsafe, to be honest. The 10 pound morning thing, fully understandable, similar to what the IBF do. But if that's 10 pound getting in the ring, then it's just ridiculous in my opinion.
Finally, Canelo, we're waiting to see who he fights next. Who gives him the biggest challenge in your opinion?
Beterbiev.
Why?
Just stylistically, I think Canelo could look $1 million very early on, but I think that he would eventually have Canelo on the back foot, and it'd be very interesting. We're not seeing Canelo on the back foot for quite some time. I think it'd be very interesting to see how Canelo handles the pace that Beterbiev eventually will be able to set.
Ben, appreciate your time.